Recently, a strange new profession has emerged in China, on-site OpenClaw installation. The installation fees have skyrocketed from 50 yuan to over 10,000 yuan, and there are even regional agents and various supporting services like cleaning cat litter. To verify this social phenomenon, I reached out to many people and discovered something even more absurd. The people doing these installations are actually startup CEOs and founders, all high-level executives. This might be one of the most bizarre social phenomena I've encountered in 2026, so I specifically paid someone to come and do an on-site installation today, hoping to answer a few questions for everyone in one video. First, what is OpenClaw? What can ordinary people actually use it for? Second, what does the entire installation process look like? Can you do it yourself without help? And what is the cost structure? Finally, what kind of people are doing this? What is the underlying social significance? I'm really looking forward to this video, and I hope you are too. Oh, hello. Hi there. Are you here for the OpenClaw installation?
Yes, that's right.
Great, thank you so much. Are there many orders for OpenClaw right now?
Yes, a lot lately.
How many orders have you taken recently?
This is my first one this week.
Okay, nice.
Now let's connect the Mac Mini to the computer. This is the power cord that comes with the Mac Mini. You'll need to provide the other cable yourself, which connects to the monitor. It can be an HDMI or a DP cable. If your computer supports a direct Type-C connection, it also has a Type-C port. So make sure you have this cable ready.
To deploy OpenClaw, we bought an extra host machine. So during the process, we'll start it up first and ensure the screen is connected to this host. Exactly. Then we'll perform the OpenClaw installation on this machine.
If you only have a laptop at home, it won't work because the Mac Mini requires an external monitor. Next, connect the mouse and keyboard to the Mac Mini. A mouse like this already supports multiple devices, so I just need to set it to Bluetooth pairing mode. When the Mac Mini starts for the first time, it will automatically recognize your Bluetooth devices.
Right, we originally expected the entire deployment and installation to take about an hour, but it actually took 5. I had hoped to quickly break down the installation into simple steps so I could conclude that you don't need professional help and can do it all yourself. That wasn't the case. First, we spent about 40 minutes troubleshooting compatibility issues with my mouse and keyboard. In the end, I actually had to go online and buy a wired keyboard. Then during the installation, connecting to the Mac Mini went smoothly. But upon entering OpenClaw and entering that line of code into the command prompt, we hit a snag. An error message popped up. The installer hadn't seen this error before, so it was a first for him too. We then consulted various AI tools like Kimi, Gemini, and GPT, only to find that AI couldn't fully resolve the installation issue. Gemini and ChatGPT even seemed to have restrictions regarding OpenClaw, providing incorrect answers. Kimi and Grok were relatively better. We struggled with this for about 2 hours. However, I believe showing this reality is helpful. For someone without a technical background, local deployment is currently very difficult. You don't even know if an error has occurred. You're just staring at a bunch of code, not knowing what to do next. Local deployment isn't something that's completely worthless, and that's the conclusion we've reached today. All those tutorials online hyping up one-click deployment and quick results actually skip a lot of steps that we don't see. Right now, the simplest way might be cloud deployment, using something that's already been packaged for you, just going with a cloud-based solution. Okay, let's dive right in. A lot of people are asking about the cost of this. Can you give us a rough idea of the current options and their respective costs? Like, how much do people actually need to spend on this? Let's say we deploy it on our Mac Mini, that's one way. And the other is the cloud, using existing tools. Roughly how much would that cost?
If you're deploying via Mac Mini, the cost is split into 2 parts. First is the cost of the Mac Mini itself. For 8 GB of RAM and 256 GB of storage, you can probably get it for around $3,500. I'd suggest that everyone buy 16 GB of RAM, that's enough, and then just go with the base storage, because you can always use external drives for storage. So let's say the hardware cost is $3,500. Other costs mainly involve connecting it to a brain like Kimi, GPT, or Gemini. If you use the web version, it's subscription-based, maybe $20 a month or 100 yuan. But if you use OpenClaw, there's no monthly subscription. Your cost is based on usage. I've used it for a month, and it's usually under 10 yuan a day to handle some light tasks. So $3,500 for hardware plus roughly 10 yuan a day makes the experience quite smooth.
And what about the cloud?
Cloud options fall into 2 categories. One is the official cloud supported by OpenClaw, which you might need to configure yourself. For what's currently called cloud, people mostly use domestic providers like Alibaba Cloud, Tencent Cloud, or Kimi. They offer those one-click cloud deployment solutions, which cost roughly between several dozen to 150 yuan a month.
Would you recommend the Mac Mini approach more?
If you don't mind investing in a piece of hardware, then I'd suggest just going all in and getting a Mac Mini.
What's the biggest difference compared to the cloud? Why do you prefer this kind of all-in-one machine?
Files are stored locally, which makes the whole experience much smoother.
Actually, I feel the same way because You can't really get into a cloud computer. You can't access that virtual host directly. But with a local setup, if I want to see all the files, it helps me
Right, and I think that might align better with people's...
sense of security. So I'm curious, what's your day job? How did you come up with this idea?
My day job actually has nothing to do with technology. I have two roles. One is a PhD student in business, and the other is working for an overseas real estate team. I've always been very interested in AI tech, so when OpenClaw was released, I bought a Mac Mini within a week or two and started experimenting. I found it really interesting. Learning new things every day, I realized there was actually a demand for on-site deployment.
Yeah, from what we've seen lately, those requesting on-site deployment are startup CEOs or product leads, very high-level people. It's quite different from the traditional
idea of someone coming to set up a computer. It's not the product most people imagine.
Because the question people ask most is, once everything is installed and set up, what can this thing actually do? What are the real-world use cases? How do you view it?
First, my conclusion. After a month, I feel there's nothing OpenClaw can solve that GPT or Gemini cannot handle. So it's essentially just added automation, which means it allows you to use chat tools to call it to open files, or if you prefer, it can even directly reply to emails for you, or even download a report when needed. In other words, it streamlines these tasks for you and send it right to your chat window. The experience is just a bit smoother. But I think this thing is, first of all, in the future, it'll definitely be OpenClaw or similar agents being used more widely. I suggest getting into it early, using it to build habits or to gain some insight into this AI frontier. Another thing is, it's like a personal assistant. On the first day you hire them, they won't do a great job, right? They don't know who you are or what your work is. But after a month or two together, they'll understand you better, and the help they provide will keep improving.
Going back to the phenomenon itself, because I think having someone come over to install OpenClaw is just so surreal.
Right, I think it's surreal too.
Yeah. What do you think is the social essence behind it? First, how did this job even appear, and what's the public's mindset?
First of all, OpenClaw isn't a mature product, which is why people need on-site deployment. So why did such an immature product suddenly go viral like this? It's not just about on-site deployment, just now. I actually saw some news today about a major technology company setting up public deployment booths right downstairs in their building, kind of like those blood pressure monitoring stations you often see set up for seniors at pharmacies or grocery stores. It's like the internet wars 10 years ago, with ground promotion like SMZC. You mentioned that many people doing on-site deployment now are executives or highly educated. When ride-hailing first started with Uber, many drivers had luxury cars. It felt like executives or big bosses.
Right, do you think this phenomenon is a good thing or
a bad thing? I think it's very interesting, very interesting. It's snowballing, but OpenClaw's capabilities haven't reached the level people are hyping it up to. There's a trend, and it's just snowballing bigger and bigger. The hype will fade one day, maybe in a month, and then a new product might come along. This whole thing is quite meaningful, helping agents go viral and letting more people learn about them.
My take is that OpenClaw going viral will make the AI applications from the past few years feel more commonplace in our lives.
Knowing how to use I was the last version's requirement. You have to know it now. If you don't even know that, you're falling behind.
Right. Everyone uses AI now, but if you don't know OpenClaw, it's like you've missed the next step in AI. The weirdest part is that so many people are paying to install something they don't even know what to do with. Right? Usually when you pay, you know exactly what you're getting. It's very clear. Like getting internet installed.
Yes, exactly.
I know.
Demand comes first.
Right, I know. You pay, the broadband is there, and you have it. But now you pay a lot of money, someone sets it up, and then nobody knows what to do next.
Yeah, honestly, I have to say it's pretty surreal.